Hollywood Approved with Yael and Kristen. Each episode is an exploration of taste as we dive into the good, the bad, and the unexpected of TV and movies. Tune in for the celebrity guests and stay for the recommendations. Plus, we are getting creative with modernizations and fan casting, some of our favorites. This is Hollywood Approved.
Amazing. And today we have a very special guest. We are so excited to bring on Riker Lynch. Hello. How are you doing?
Hey.
Oh, sorry, I pushed buttons.
How you doing?
We're so excited to have you here and to learn more about what you're up to. I want to say, first of all, congratulations on Aliens on Halloween. I know you have been killing it on the festival circuit. Can you tell us a little bit about, where the inspiration for that came from?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you very much. Yeah, we've been very, very fortunate and very, very grateful for all the success we've had so far with Aliens on Halloween. We started off in Cannes. We submitted to Cannes, and we got in. That was the very first festival we submitted to, and the first festival we got. So it's all just been sort of steamrolling from there. But it started. The idea came to me at a Halloween party in about 2019. And there were this guy dressed as like a typical Martian, green alien. And he was at the bar and he was chatting with some ladies. And I was across the room with my group of friends. And I just looked over and I just thought, how funny would it be if that was actually an alien? And we had no idea because everyone's in costume. We just thought he was just a human in costume. And then I was like, oh, that's actually pretty funny. I love Halloween and I love comedy films and, sci-fi goes a long way with me as well. So it just sort of came to me. And then I think I had like the outline sort of finished in January or February of 2020. Then the lockdown happened and I had all this time. So I was like, well, let me just write this and we'll see what happens. And I thought it turned out pretty good. I got a Zoom table read going on with a couple of my actor friends and we read through it and everybody really laughed and really enjoyed it. And I was like, oh, okay, this is actually kind of good. And then later on in October of that year, we decided, all right, let's pull the trigger, let's shoot it. We followed all the code protocols and everything, and it was difficult, but it was totally worth it. And now here we are, 2021. We're just submitting to festivals, and people seem to love it. So that's sort of the Aliens on Halloween story.
So you're just putting us all to shame by actually being productive in the pandemic, getting stuff done.
It's just, it's something deep in my personality. I can't stand not doing, like, I either want to be on full vacation mode or on set or on tour. The middle ground bothers me. I'm not good with it.
That's a really good way to look at it. Like that it's one way or the other because this middle ground is weird.
Yeah, it's just, I don't like just sitting around. Like I said, just full vacation, or I just really want to be putting the work in. I want to be getting up, making my coffee, writing, or on set or touring. That's what I love. That's my passion. That's what I feel like my purpose is on this planet. And if I'm not doing that, I want to be sipping Mai Tais on a boat.
Well, speaking of staying busy, you wrote, directed, and star in this movie. What is the benefit and what is the challenges of being all three?
Great question. I think the benefit would be I have a direct influence on the scenes that I'm in, and that's what I found really. I did like a smaller sort of like test run of another short film that I was like, let me just see if I can actually pull this off. And I only acted in one scene in that. And I really felt like I could steer the scene on how I wanted it to when I'm in it. Like I do a lot of improvisation with my actors and I let people kind of take the words and kind of throw them out and put their own little vibes on things. So I really feel like I can, when I'm in the scene, I can really steer it and adjust and play with things more so than when I'm just sitting behind the camera, just saying action basically, and then working with them in between takes. But it's difficult because there's no downtime for me to learn my lines. So I have to literally know my lines and kind of everybody else's very, very good well before I show up on set. Because when I'm on set, I'm like, okay, did I get that shot? Did I, where's the blocking? I'm rehearsing with the other actors. Everybody's got questions. How should I deliver this line? Is this shirt okay? So I can't be worrying about my lines. That was like the challenge of like, I got to really, really make sure that I know my lines like the back of my hand before I ever show up.
Now, one of the things that I also love is that, like, some of your siblings are also in this. You guys collaborate so much together. What is that like, going from like, regular everyday siblings to now, working together on different projects?
It's fun. We genuinely just love being around each other. So especially with the music world, it all feels very natural. And then, I have a tendency to write things that are like, take place at a party at night. So, with that, you always need extra people. And my siblings are just so supportive, and they're also loving that. They're like, yeah, you want to use our house? Great. Yeah. Can we be in it? Everybody wants to do a little something. And Ross actually really stepped up on this one. He's not in front of the camera, or I'm sorry, he's not in front of the camera, but he's actually behind the camera quite a bit. And he did a lot of the party scenes. He helped me. He was sort of one of my assistant directors, making sure that all the background's moving properly and doing stuff. And he has so much experience on set that really came through with helping the other people that, a lot of people, this was their first time being on a movie set. So he really helped me out a lot with that. And Rocky has a nice little cameo. He's got a mask on, so you can't see him, but the mask, it's the one he wore in his music video for a song called Low. So there's a sort of little Easter egg there.
I love that. And I love that you guys can do all that as a family. I think that's so cool that, you can all have a little hand in that, and that you all have those skills to be able to do all of that. And I mean, you have original music in this as well, correct?
My brothers do. I didn't use any Riker and the Beachcombers music because I don't know. I was like, I'm writing and directing and I'm starring, so I don't want to put my music in it as well. Mm-hmm. It didn't feel like it was going to be the right fit. Because also when I'm playing a character, I don't really want to hear like my music, because I don't want the worlds to cross too much. I want people to see the character and go, oh no, that's Cal, the alien from outer space. I don't want them to be like, oh, that's Riker. Even though your mind kind of subconsciously does. But I put all of my friends' music in it. Desiree, John Robert Hall, New Beat Fund, the Driver era. I think that's literally all my friends. I literally just sent them texts like, hey, I'm doing this film. Can I use your music? And everybody was so awesome. They were just like, yeah, absolutely. Whatever you need. So
that's incredible. So, I mean, literally you could just be like, all right, guys, I need you to score this for me.
Yeah. I actually scored it myself, but I used the soundtrack. I used all of their songs. Oh, and the Struts, another good buddies of mine. I use their music too. So, but all like the scoring, like romantic scenes or like the intense, it's not really a fight scene, but it's like kind of a scuffle, I guess. Or like the intense moments before when you think they're going to suffocate. That was all. That's all the little things I did, but it's sort of just like pushing a suspense button. There's not really much to it.
That's still so exciting that you guys can do all of that. Where did your like love and passion for music and acting and performing and all this stuff come from?
Oh gosh, as early as I can remember. I wanted to be Elvis. My mom was playing, Elvis videos or Michael Jackson, and I was imitating all the dance moves and singing the songs. And at a very early age, my dad was playing Bruce Springsteen records, and he was throwing me up in the air and dancing around to Human Touch, So I think I was just sort of surrounded by it all pretty consistently. And then, even like Grease, that movie and those songs, and the sing-alongs with all the Disney songs, or Lion King, Aladdin. I don't know. Feels very natural to me. I don't really remember wanting to do anything else other than be an NHLer and NHL hockey player. That didn't really work out though.
You mentioned quite a few references, and in the movie there's a ton of pop culture references.
Yeah.
How did you decide which references to use and which references to hold on to? Maybe not the right one for this movie.
I think it all just came out naturally when I was writing. It's not like it was totally natural. It just whatever flowed, was flowing through the dialogue. I didn't really like the outline. I just sort of have like the story beats, but I don't really have any like the dialogue thing. So I remember like, okay, so they have a mission, and I was like, oh, a Mission Impossible reference would be funny here, and it just And then Cal, the character of Cal, is just like, he's such a movie and music fanatic that I was like, oh, he'll just know all these things, and he's trying to like be funny and cool, but the other aliens have no clue what he's talking about. And like the Star Trek reference, my name actually comes from Star Trek, so that was sort of like an extra nod there. Commander Riker, it was in Next Generation, I think. So it's just sort of just whatever came through in the dialogue. I didn't really force it or think too much about it. It was just sort of a natural character choice, I think.
That's very cool. Well, speaking of pop culture references, let's talk about what we're watching.
Yes.
So what is the last thing you watched? Riker, we'll start with you.
The very last thing I watched was Free Guy, and it was so good. I loved it. I'm a big Ryan Reynolds fan. There he is. Yeah, the whole cast, everybody, the storyline, the writing. I mean, everything was just excellent. I've thoroughly enjoyed this movie.
I agree. I absolutely love Free Guy. I think it is going to be underrated. I think not enough people are seeing it.
Really?
Yes. In my mind, not enough people are seeing it. And it's worth it. It's worth it. It's so funny.
It's so funny. It's so well done. It's just like across the board, just tens across the board, I think.
Yeah. Kristen, have you seen it?
This is one that I've been anticipating so much, but I haven't been able to see it yet. So soon. I feel like, this is the quintessential Ryan Reynolds that it's just so funny, kind of breaking the fourth wall a little bit. So I really want to see it. It just hasn't happened.
Yeah. Hopefully we didn't hype it up too much yet, but you'll definitely enjoy it. It's good.
Yeah. Kristen, what about you? What's the last thing you watched?
So the last thing I watched was the new Cinderella that's coming out on Friday with Camila Cabello. And I got to say, I feel like it's been getting very mixed reactions, but I thought it was really fun. I thought that she did a really great job in her debut acting role. She's very charismatic.
That's what I was going to ask, actually. I was curious how that went down.
Yeah.
Because she's obviously a phenomenal singer.
Mm-hmm. I thought that she was really good, very natural, very funny. And the guy that she's playing opposite, that's like the prince. I've seen him in a couple of things too. He was in The Craft Legacy, and I remember thinking like he was so good. And then I was like, you can sing too, man. This guy's got so much talent. And the two of them I thought were just very really, really good together. And it's like a little bit of a different story, where she's like trying to be a businesswoman and, trying to she has bigger dreams than just like getting away from her family and becoming.
Gotcha.
And I thought that
that's cool.
Good job with it. A lot of female empowerment. Very, very Pitch Perfect meets, Cinderella.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
You may have swayed me to consider watching it.
Yeah, it's fun. It'll be on Amazon Prime on Friday. So an easy just click Amazon and watch.
Interesting.
Yeah. What was the last thing that you watched?
The last thing that I watched was actually the Fantasy Island series that just came out on Fox, I think. It's available on Hulu. I will say this. I was not expecting to enjoy it. And I really, really liked the first 2 episodes. The third one is okay as well. I have not watched past the first 3, but it's a surprise to me how much I liked it, because you think this seems like a terrible idea. Right? Like it was a classic show, and then they made the horror movie, which looked not for me, very scary. And then this one, I was like, all right. And I like it. So that's a fun surprise.
Is it
nice?
Is it like, I know there's been a lot of kind of resort themed projects lately, like with Old and the White Lotus. So is it that kind of vibe where it's like there's a mystery going on, or is it just like these people are trying to better their lives?
So it's very procedural in that every episode is 2 stories. It is very clear that these 2 guests they know they're coming to a magical island with a goal. And then the island gives them what they ask for, not necessarily in the way that they ask for it.
Okay. But it's like a you need this kind of thing, not like a we're trying to hurt you kind of thing.
Yeah. The people come, they're like, I need this. For example, the first episode, there's this old couple and the woman is dying of cancer. And so they want just one day of being young again before she goes so that they could just enjoy life.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So kind of like a more positive twist on like a Twilight Zone in a way.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. It was again, I am shocked at how much I enjoyed this.
Oh, wow. You've got me intrigued now.
Right? I say, again, I've only seen 3 episodes. So if it gets bad after that, not my fault.
It's off to a good start, though.
Yeah. Now, let's get into what show or movie did you just discover? Riker, you want to start us off?
Yes, I will gladly start us off in what I think is the greatest show to ever touch television. And it's because we all need this in our lives. We all need this energy in our lives, this positivity and this optimism. And that is, oh man, Ted Lasso. Let's go.
Oh, this is one I haven't gotten to watch yet. So tell us about it.
Oh, I'm shaming you.
The greatest thing for me, and this is how I was told to watch it. Like several of my family members, several of my friends were like, Riker, you will love this show. And then they go, it's you, by the way. It's you. You will love it. And I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And I really didn't know. I didn't really know what it was about. I was like, okay, he's like coaching soccer or something like that. And you watch it and you realize that you need this kind of energy in your life. And it's so refreshing. It's just, oh man. And you love every character. Like when a TV show can pull that off and you like are rooting for every character in a different way and you love them. I mean, it's so funny. It's so fun. And Jason Sudeikis absolutely crushes it. And they got so many Emmy nominations. I mean, and well-deserved.
And they just won a bunch of awards at the Television Critics Association Awards.
There you go.
Which happened on Sunday. So, Riker, when you say your family said you are the show, are you Ted Lasso?
I think so. Yeah, like my mother-in-law, we started watching it with my mother-in-law, my wife and I, and my father-in-law, and they're both laughing and just pointing at the screen, going, "Look, it's you and Rocky." They're the 2 coaches.
Yeah.
And so yeah, everybody was telling me that I'm Ted Lasso.
I need you in my life.
Well, I'm around. But yeah, I've always had that want for. I want to spread as much optimism and positive energy as possible, and he does this in a phenomenal way. And I'm not quite as good as Ted Lasso. I know I'm still working on a couple things, but it was like the greatest compliment I've ever received after watching it, because that's what I want to be. I definitely want to be that energy and that person and spreading that kind of love around. And so that was people telling me to watch it because they thought of me was just the greatest compliment I've ever received.
Oh, wow. Now I really need to watch it.
This is amazing.
Apple TV, it's worth it.
I love this show, and I usually cannot stand a show with like an earnest, positive guy. Right. Any character that's like super positive, I'm like, oh, no, thank you.
That's so funny.
But this, I'm like, how does he make himself still so lovable?
Yeah, it's because he's curious.
So good.
It's excellent. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Amazing. Kristen, what is something you just discovered?
Okay, so this was a little bit more of a rediscover, but I've been, preparing myself for Hispanic Heritage Month, which is coming up, starting September 15th. So I was watching Gotta Kick It Up, DCOM, Throwback.
Yes.
It means yes, we can.
I was about to be like, this is the Si Se Puede movie, right?
Yes. And I hadn't seen it in so long, and I was like, wow, this is still so good, because I feel like it's so easy to it's about these young Latino women who want to form a dance crew and kind of, at their school and use that to make friends and have something to do. And, there's this woman who comes in, oh my God, what is her name? The woman who plays the voice of Meg in Hercules. She's the teacher that comes in, and I just you could hear it in her voice. You're just like, oh my gosh. I'm blanking on her name right now, but
I'm blanking too, but so good.
So good. And she, you sometimes, in these stories, it's like, a white savior moment where like this person comes in and like helps you. But it was really like the opposite. It was like these young Latina women kind of coming together and like teaching this teacher that like you can like kind of still go back to your dreams of like dance and like, not giving up on that, like that feeling of just like this thing that you were passionate about. And I was like, wow, this is really good. And the music is so good. It's like classic, like what was that, 2000s? I don't even know. The soundtrack was incredible. And you got like a young America Ferrera and Camille Guadi, and it's just so good. And I definitely recommend rewatching. It's on Disney Plus. It was a lot of fun.
I literally only know it as the Si Se Puede movie.
But you know what? You never forget that, right?
Right.
Like it sticks with you.
It's so funny. Riker, have you seen it? Have you seen Gotta Keep
I
It
don't
Up?
think so. I don't think so. But around 2000s, though, I would imagine that I've seen some clips of it from scrolling on Disney Channel. So.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yael, what about you? What'd you just discover?
So I just discovered, I'm bummed that I just discovered it because it got canceled, but the Punky Brewster reboot revival.
Oh, it got canceled?
Yeah.
Oh.
So it got one season. It's actually really cute. It's not, I mean, it's a comedy, it's a sitcom, but it's like there's a lot of like heart and seriousness, and it's about like adoption and the foster care system and family. And it was really like beautiful. And so it's a bummer, but if you watch it as a limited series, then it's one 10-episode limited series that could have continued. It's really cute, and Soleil Moon Frye is really great in it. And as someone who did not watch the original, because as old as I am, I'm not that old, and so I have not seen the original series, I feel like I understood what the original series was about, and I got enough references to the original to go, oh, okay, I see who this is and what that is and what the situation is. And it's really good, and it's on Peacock. So yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. Let's talk about music.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So what is a song from a movie or TV show that has stuck with you? Riker, do you want to go first?
Sure. The whole Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack really just hit a sweet spot with me for some reason. I had never heard Hooked on a Feeling and Come and Get Your Love. Fooled Around and Fell in Love is another good one on that soundtrack. I had heard the Pina Colada song, and I had always just loved that song instantly. I don't think anybody has heard that song and not loved it. That would be weird. I'm sure there's people, but I've never met them. But yeah, just Hooked on a Feeling, and just like, also that's like, that song is really like connected to my heart too, because when I picked up my wife when we were dating for our very first date ever, I was like driving over to her house like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a sweet move here. I'm gonna plop in the soundtrack in my CD player because the soundtrack is so good, it'll just get the vibe started right. And so Hooked on a Feeling is the first song that played. And then at our wedding, I played a little bit of Hooked on a Feeling with my band. We did like a whole medley thing. You can watch it all on YouTube if you want, but yeah, so it's just like, that song's really just deep in my heart, and it's such a good song. So yeah,
that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow, this was a good question.
None of our stories are gonna top that.
Nope.
Sorry, maybe I shouldn't go first.
All right, Kristen, I'm making you go.
There's so many great songs in movies and TV shows, so many great soundtracks from Back to the Future to, The Wedding Singer. But
yes,
some songs that I just really was like, this is like some of the best animated performances I've ever seen, is Stand Out and Eye to Eye from a Goofy movie.
Nice. Yes.
Powerline, Tevin Campbell, he deserves so much more, so much respect. They're just like, I just remember watching those and being like, this is incredible. And
that's a good one.
The music, even outside of the film, I mean, the performance in the film is so cool, but even outside of that, they hold up even, years, generations later, or however long it's been. So good. I really think that we need to give Powerline more credit.
I like that.
I like it too.
What about you, Yael?
Well, I can't top either of those. So mine happens to be from Old School. And it is the song is Totally Clips of the Heart. And if you recall in Old School, it's at Frank's wedding and the guy singing it keeps slipping in curse words. And so now I can't not hear them when I hear Totally Clips of the Heart. So I hear the song play and I just imagine where he says, I see the effing look in your eyes. And I'm like, this is so funny just to me. It's not out loud. It's in my head. So it has stuck with me for the wrong reason. But yeah, that's the song.
That's funny. Yeah. That's a good one, actually. I really like that too. Good answers all around, guys. We did good on that.
We did.
Yeah, this is a perfect soundtrack.
And our final question is, what is your comfort movie or show? Riker, shall we have you start or should we start with Kristen?
Whatever you want. You let me know.
No, Riker, you go. You're our guest.
Right.
All right. So I there's a lot of shows and a lot of movies that I really love, but I feel like my comfort one, because I think it's so ridiculous and it's so funny, especially like the early seasons, Archer. It's the animated show. Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm a big James Bond fan too, and he's sort of like James Bond, but he's just an awful person. And he's so mean to all his coworkers, and it's just so funny. And if I'm ever like trying to wind down and I want something short, because I like to keep my bedtime like pretty, this is it, and I'm not trying to mess with it too much. So if I just want like a little 20-30 minute, kind of wind down, I usually go with Archer.
That's great. I love Archer.
I think it's so funny. I just started the new season the last night.
How do you feel about the newer seasons that are kind of their own, like almost self-contained stories and different themes?
They're pretty fun. I really liked the island one where Krieger was a parrot. I just thought and he's a pilot. It was just like a totally new thing. And I thought that was really funny. The 1920s one was pretty fun too. Is it in the 20s?
I think
right?
So.
Dreamland. I think it was the 20s. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I really like when they just continue their storylines. Like I remember watching the pilot episode. It's like the animation has come so far from that first episode. It's so funny. It's all like they're jacked up and like it's not totally 3D, but it like kind of is in certain areas. It's funny.
Yeah. Kristen, what is your comfort movie or show?
One of my favorite comfort shows that's just like a good time to like relax and like get ready for bed is Shark Tank.
Nice.
Sorry, I don't mean to judge.
I was on Dancing with the Stars with Robert.
Oh, that's so cool. What did you get any like business advice from him?
No, I should have asked him though, because he showed up every day in like this really sweet Ferrari, and we were all like, "Yeah, we should probably be doing what that guy's doing."
I mean, it's so fun because you just like I pretend I'm on the show and I'm like, okay, what would I go in on? Okay, and actually, so random, but like a couple of years ago, when I worked on TRL and they had Damon come in and they were doing like a pitch thing where you could like pitch an idea and they like needed people. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. And so I have a video of me pitching an idea to Damon and him being like, yeah, I'd go in on it. And me being like, oh, okay. I mean,
yes,
obviously, but if it was,
that's awesome.
Like, I like to pretend that, have that little cred, but
that's
nice. Cool. Yeah.
We've gone back and watched from the very beginning, and it's so weird because it looks so old. The first seasons, like they filmed in something that looked like a NASDAQ like room,
right?
But But it's just like a fun show, and I know for the next season they have like Kevin Hart coming on and stuff, and
cool,
fun business advice, and you could just see different products out there, and it's like, oh, actually, I've seen that before, like, oh, actually, now I got a scrub daddy, So I think it's fun.
That is fun.
What about you, Yael? What's your comfort show or movie?
So anyone who knows me knows that I love a procedural. So my comfort show is actually Leverage, which is a show about, it's like a modern day Robin Hood, a high tech Robin Hood. It's a bunch of thieves and con artists who come together to stop just stealing for fun and decide to start helping people.
Very cool.
And it was 5 seasons. It's available on IMDb, or it's available on IMDb TV, and it was just rebooted.
Nice.
And it's really good. And what I love about it is oddly, it's like hopeful because they take down the bad guys and you feel better at the end. And so, yeah, it's really good. And not too much thinking needed to watch it. It's not like dark and intense. It's fun and playful.
Very nice. Very nice.
Nice. I like that. I'll throw one more out at you just because I just remembered it. How I Met Your Mother. I can pretty much watch any episode of that show. I love it. Love it so much.
Now, what do you think about them doing a reboot?
That was my question.
I am trying to get on it. That's what I think about it. I found out. So my music manager used to manage Hillary Duff. So I know she's starring in it. And so I was like, who do I got to talk to get an audition over here? So I've had one audition so far. It was a really small character, but it still would have been cool if I got it. But I didn't get that one. So we'll see. Hopefully another one comes up.
Yeah. Hopefully something bigger.
Yeah. That's what I was hoping. I was like, hopefully it'd be like the fun. I want to be Barney. I would love to be the Barney character. There's got to be somebody playing a Barney person,
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Well, we will be rooting for you for that one because
thank you. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
So Riker, for people that want to check out Aliens on Halloween or follow you, where can they find all of that?
So you can find all my stuff at rikerlynch.com. I'm pretty much Riker Lynch on any social media. But Aliens on Halloween is actually only available to those on who donated to the film right now because it's not officially released. We're still doing the festival circuit. But if you're really, really keen on getting some behind the scenes access, you can sign up for my Patreon, which is patreon.com/Riker Lynch. And there is a ton of behind the scenes photos, behind the scenes videos, and trailers and all kinds of other stuff. So plus I message everybody on there. So if you join, send me a message. But that's the only spot to sort of get your little Aliens on Halloween fix for now.
I assume they will know ahead of everyone when it will be available for people to watch.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm hoping we get just sort of we can just put it on, a streaming service eventually, just so everybody can see it because it is a short film. It's not a full length film, but it's sort of like an episode of television. It's like 43 minutes long. But yeah, I think it'd be perfect. I think it'd be perfect for like a Halloween, programming on everybody wants Netflix. So I'll say, Hulu.
Perfect.
But Netflix would be cool.
Yes, absolutely. We got to manifest this.
Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And
thanks for having me. This was fun.
I
love talking movies and music, so this is my cup of tea right here.
Yes, we love it. We love it.
All right, we'll say thank you and goodbye to Riker, and we will continue with the show. Today we are fan casting Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the original series.
Yes. In honor of Riker, who we know was on last season of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, so we were like, we'll make that connection. All right. Kristen, who do you have for Sabrina? Okay. So for my Sabrina, I went with Storm Reid. I feel like Storm Reid is such a likable actress. We always see her in such serious things, So I would love to see her in like a Sabrina the Teenage Witch, fun sitcom vibe. I feel like that would be very interesting.
I love that. I feel like my answer is similar because she's done stuff that is similar. I went with Madison Reyes from Julie and the Phantoms. I think she would be so cute in this, and I would love to get to see her doing magic. I think that would just be so cute.
Yes. When I saw your pick, I was like, that's a good pick. I wish I could pick it, but we'll go with Storm. But
all right,
also Madison.
That's how I felt when I saw your picks for Hilda and Zelda.
Ooh, yes, I'm excited about that one.
So who do you have for, let's go with that one. Let's go. Who do you have for Hilda and Zelda?
Hilda and Zelda, I decided to go with Tia and Tamara Mowry. Yes. I mean, this is what I think. I tried to pick people that I thought had that the comedy chops, the sitcom chops already. And, were maybe like veterans in that already and could, bring that to the younger, generation, like Storm Reed. And I just think that they would be so fun together, and to see them playing sisters, but like having such different personalities would be, really fun. I'm all about it.
It made me think of Twitches and Twitches 2.
So maybe this is like sort of like a spin-off. Oh my gosh, we should just do that. This is my Sabrina the Teenage Witch Twitches spin-off.
I love it. Mm-hmm. I went a different direction, and I picked for Hilda Rosario Dawson. Mm-hmm. And then for Zelda, I went with Mira Van, whom I best know from How to Get Away with Murder, where she played Tegan. And I think that they have that serious and goofy personality. They both do that Hilda Zelda thing. But in mine, instead of Hilda and Zelda being sisters, Hilda and Zelda are a couple.
Whoa, switching it up. I love it.
Because that's what I think a modern version of Sabrina would be, is that they're not sisters. They're a couple, and they are raising one of their niece.
Okay, I like it.
All right, let's who do we have for Harvey?
For Harvey, I took a little bit of inspiration from my recent Cinderella watch and went with Nicholas Galitzine, who I just think that he's so likable. Everything that I've seen him in, I just feel like he's very likable, and I think that he'd be a really cute Harvey.
That's so interesting. When I saw the name, I was like, I don't know who that is. And then I saw that he was in Cinderella, and I went, I see. Yes. She recently watched Cinderella.
I did. But he was really good in The Craft Legacy, where I think he has he's just a very likable guy. I think that he'd be really good.
Well, I picked someone from Ginny and Georgia who has not gotten enough credit for his performance, and I went with Mason Temple.
Oh,
because I thought he did so well in Ginny and Georgia, and again, he just hasn't been working as much. According to his IMDb, he's not doing a lot, and I really would love to see him get another shot. And he really, again, I'm old, and I was watching it, and I was like, man, I wish boys were like this when I was in high school. He was great.
And another one that came to mind when you said Mason Temple was Mason Gooding, who plays Andrew in Love, Victor. And I think he'd be really cute in that too.
Those are good.
Yeah.
All right. And lastly, we got to voice Salem.
Yes.
I love your pick.
I love your pick. Okay. So again, I've been watching a lot of shows and movies lately. So I was thinking about He's All That. And I was thinking I was trying to think who's just an iconic, funny person that you'd see their name and be like, oh my gosh, yes. And I was like, Matthew Lillard.
Yeah.
Lillard, you hear his name and you're like, all right, I'm in.
I think you're right. And I think my person falls into that category too. He's been voicing a lot of stuff recently. And he's just so great. And I think Patton Oswalt would be so perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those are honestly, I'd watch something where Matthew Lillard and Patton Oswalt just voice something together.
Yeah. This was good ones. I really enjoyed these castings.
Yeah, I'm now really bummed this isn't it.
No, right? Someone hire us to cast your new Sabrina reboot.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's it for today's show. Thank you again to our incredible guest, Riker Lynch. That was such a fun chat.
It was. Now I really need to watch Ted Lasso. Like,
where have you been?
I don't know. I don't know what I've been doing, but I really need to watch it. Maybe I'll watch it tonight. I'll start it.
Awesome. Well, until next episode, Kristen, where are you on the internet and what are you up to these days?
Let's see. I'm on the internet at Kaymaldo, KAYMALDO, on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Vieta One at the end, on Instagram. I'm also hosting my podcast, Pop Culture Planet, which is all about representation and inclusion in the entertainment space. And what have I been doing lately? I just finished covering Fantasia Film Festival. I've got TIFF coming up next, which I'm very excited about. And just, reviews, interviews, trying to do it all. What about you, Yael?
I am everywhere at Yael Tygiel. That is YAELTYGIEL. We just finished the 8-episode Leverage Redemption after show, the official Leverage Redemption after show, a very distinctive podcast. You can check every episode that is out now on demand on Electric Now. And I have my Law & Order SVU show, Law & Order S Review, on Sundays at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on Fanversation's YouTube channel. And everything else, you can keep up with me just at Yael Tygiel. And we'll be back next week for more. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Bye.